in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses. And if you wanna be a chef, then I say cook it up. And if you wanna be the champ, well I say hook it up. Cause I can never tell you what you can't be. Yes I can, see a failure is something you can't be. Plus, I get you a shuttle if you feel that you need space. The sky's the limit, get you wings for your birthday. Whatever makes you happy, if you like it, then I love it. Turning nothing into something, I'm all in and I ain't bluffing. I'm who you got when the world ain't got your back, man. I pull over when life puts you in the fast lane. I'm in your corner like Bandini, if you tumble, I'd tell you like him. Rumble, young man, rumble, see. Some women go cause I ain't make them happiest. But who am I to impede on somebody's happiness? I guess I learned a lot by going with the flow of things. You fight the current like salmon, we die and go insane. That's why I stay up in my lane, just be a lyricist. And yes, I'm multifaceted, but not omnipotent. And what I do know is we all gon' have a path to take. And I won't be the one that's standing in somebody's way. There ain't no perfect life or perfect way to get success. But there's a perfect way to take the time to be yourself. And you gon' find it when you find it, ain't no rushing that. Too many you running this rat race, how many gon' just relax? Your life ain't just about money, Jesus ain't die rich. Neither did Martin Luther, Gandhi, or Malcolm X. And one say life gon' constantly change, so don't get stuck in one space, you won't be open for things. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. This is, Team DDG versus Team Halle Bailey, right? Halle Bailey. I say Halle, I'm sorry. I hope this actually gets to DDG and even Miss Bailey. Because I was going to go in and clown the whole situation, but I'm not going to do that because I've been through stuff like this. So let me start by telling DDG, know what you're going through. That one of the easiest things you can do in this situation, go to court and just get joint 50-50 custodial custody, which means 1 week on, you get the kid for 1 week, she gets your kid for y'all split weeks. It's 26 weeks in a year, so y'all could split evenly, right? There's get a lawyer, because if she wants to fight for this, she doesn't really have a real leg to stand on. This domestic violence restraining order type of thing. This is kind of like bitter baby mama 101. You know what I'm saying? So, and I would tell her, like, this is not a normal situation. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I tell Ms. Bailey, like, listen, ma'am, you're not in a normal situation where the person you're with has a job or yada, yada, yada. DDG actually basically works from home. So there's nothing that can really prevent him from not being in the house with the child on a daily basis. Not really, because he's just streaming. So he's basically working from home. So if you fight against that, just know there's going to be legal repercussions and there's going to be social repercussions. So I'm going to say that, give me 1 second. So, and if I'm not mistaken, Well, I'm back. If I'm not mistaken, they're in California, which is one of those things where California has like uh, pretty much all the 50 states of the United States when it comes to family court are really biased to mothers. But California is one of those states where it's an extreme thing when people say it, just because there is no cap on child support and whatnot. So if you don't do the 1 week on, 1 week off, the way it's looking, like on DDG's part, the way it's looking is if you actually if your net worth is higher than hers, she gonna try to hit you over the head for the maximum she can get out you, which doesn't is not cool because you're not gonna be able to do that for the next, let's just say 17 and a half, 17 years. You get what I'm saying? So that's gonna be an issue. Um, so the easiest way to curb all the nonsense is 1 week on, 1 week off. Um, but even with Haley Bailey's Haley or Haley Holly, I'm sorry. Um, I'm gonna just say Miss Bailey, even though I'm older, but that'll kill all the nonsense. For her, what you doing now? One of the things you're doing now that's really gonna come back to bite you in the behind is you can't make rules and then break your rules and then take that to court. That's not gonna work. You get what I'm saying? So this idea that like you can fly wherever in the United States, but also fly outside of the United States um, with the child, that's not gonna fly when you go to court. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You go somewhere in the states, cool. If you go anywhere that you need a passport for, they're not gonna allow that. You're gonna need permission. You're gonna need permission, just for the record. And with your career, you're gonna be flying out of the country. So even with you, 1 week on, 1 week off actually works better for you and your career because you can schedule things that way. But if you just try to go, I want what I want and I want control, it's it's gonna bite you in the butt in your career. I can guarantee you that. And sometimes like people don't want to tell people that, you know, like so we have this issue. Um and like I say, like a person with DDG, like I got a whole playlist. If you ever come across it, if people that know you come across this, I got a whole playlist in my I got a whole playlist in my playlist about a book that I wrote about being a non-custodial father. I was custodial and non-custodial. So it's a whole bunch of stuff in there. It's basically I just made the book an audio book, so it's in my playlist. You know, well I upgraded some things, took some things out, put some things in, yada yada yada. Anyway, but you can go through that if you need any help and information. If hopes anything comes helps you, I hope some of that stuff helps you. Um, but I'm gonna say it this way. DDG, you know you the bad guy, you're gonna be the bad guy. You're the father, so the father's the bad guy. Does it have to be true? Absolutely not. But you're gonna be the bad guy, right? It's good for social media, it's good for the narrative. But it's so normalized in society, uh it really doesn't stick like it used to. Because now people, too many, it's been multiple generations of people who've been like, oh, I'm part of the bitter baby mama hustle, right? With Haley, Miss Bailey, are you winning right now? A little bit. You put out that he's abusive and yada yada yada, but but there's holes in your story, just so you know. You know, this idea that it happened in January, but you bringing it out in May because now you want, you know, so like more custody and control. This is you're gonna wind up in a situation like Keke Palmer where everybody's on your side in the beginning and then people just slowly back away. And what I mean is, I was talking to my wife about this recently. Like with men, when you say something about a man, it you know, quote unquote cancel culture, you get canceled. And those men get canceled. And when people think that guy didn't get a fair shake,
he slowly kind of can work his way back up to where he was at. Because it's like, oh, you got canceled on the allegation. You know, you dropped some sponsors, you lost some money, people looked at you sideways, you lost some opportunities, yada yada yada. But people look at the situation and they go, I can't necessarily trust this situation 100%. So if the person works their way, starts working their way back up to it, appreciate it, Shark. When people work their way back up to it, you know, it's kind of like a redemption kind of story because they don't really believe the accusations 100%. Miss Bailey, here's the dilemma. What are you like if you winning right now, but when people start asking questions, they're not going to cancel you because most women don't necessarily get canceled. But what happens is people kind of slowly backpedal away from you. And you've seen that if you're in Hollywood, like you're in Hollywood, but you see that's actually what just from afar, what I see what happens with women's careers. People go, yeah, I don't like her. Like what she did might be damaging to the brand, but since we don't cancel her, we just slowly like you get less and less opportunities until you kind of disappear for a while. So just know like this situation in some ways is going to hurt your career because people, the studio heads, the producers, the directors, some of the actors, they've been in this same situation. You get what I'm saying? They've been in this same situation. Some of it was their fault, and some of it, they got railroaded. So if those kind of people, if you got to work with the type of people who've seen this before and they go, okay, you're in the right in this one, I got your back. But if they go, you're in the wrong in this one, they're not gonna really tell you. They just going, nah, I'm not working with you. I'm not really working with you. Yeah, I don't need to work with you like that. So that's gonna be an issue because if I'm not mistaken, out of the two Bailey sisters, she's supposed to be the good one. She's supposed to be the good one. So you're not gonna look like the good girl anymore. You're gonna look like, the bad girl. I'm just putting that out there. Now, it's other stuff that's outside of the work part because both of y'all gonna take a financial hit. Believe me. Honestly, the best thing probably for y'all to do is actually the 1 week on, 1 week off, and let both of y'all keep pursuing y'all careers. And, until the baby's like school age, then y'all can slowly like wean the kid out of the social media because he's a baby. He really doesn't really matter, but the kid's gonna need some privacy at some point because both of y'all's parents gonna not want the kid to be out there all the time. You know what I'm saying? I get that, but y'all getting along is probably better for both of y'all brands than this. And that's sad, but that's the reality. So if y'all can't put y'all issues aside and y'all got to fight over all of this stuff, trust me, y'all both gonna lose. Both of y'all. It ain't gonna be a one-way street. Now the other part, if I was to say on DDG side, I get it. You probably DD, like let me believe DDG and let me believe Miss Bailey. If I believe both of them, they won't trust each other for a long time. Because on DDG's side, it's like, oh, you've been using my kid as leverage in a pawn, and now this, because you want to get your way. Don't worry about it. You ain't got to worry about us ever being cool. Cool, that's what it is. And there's gonna come a time where it's like, yo, I really need you now. And it's gonna be like, I can't trust you, my family can't trust you, my friends can't trust you, can't nobody trust you. Because this is how you get down. And I know he was warned by multiple dudes. And the sad part about him being warned, I get it. He was warned by guys and he's like, And then some of the guys kind of look like unscrupulous characters. So he's like, I ain't taking that advice from you. But what they said is true because they know what they're talking about because they've seen it a million times. They've been in it a million times. It's like, this is where you headed. Now he believes them. So now it's like, you know, you got to treat her like you don't trust her. Now, on the flip side, if I believe everything she says, she's not going to trust them. And normally when a mother's like, you did this and you did that and you hurt me and I don't like you no more, I don't trust you. 9 times out of 10, if a woman says I don't like you, I don't trust you, it goes to, well, since I don't like you and I don't trust you, if I don't trust you now and I don't like you, the baby don't like you and the baby don't trust you. That's where it goes, right? So, but then you wind up with a situation, because now we got issues. And DDG, that's how you're going to you're going to go off, because you're going to feel antagonized. Now, in my humble opinion, if I heard this correctly, they basically said, someone said DDG basically saw Miss Bailey like somewhere with their kid, I guess out of the country. And he basically let her know, like, hey, so if you can take the baby wherever you want to, don't trip when I do it. And then she went and said, restraining order, right? And then all this other stuff came up. He lost his temper. He put his hands on me. We was kind of fighting over the baby in the car kind of situation. Now all this stuff came up. If it happened in that way, it might work. This gonna work in social media, but that's not gonna work in court for Miss Bailey, because it's gonna be like, oh, okay, I get it. Because nowadays you have more evidence. So if it was that, and it's like, okay, you got a text message this day, social media says you were in this place, and then right after, and then a day, 2 days later, you file a restraining order, because you would have to come back into the States to file a restraining order. You get what I'm saying? So if that happened that way, they're gonna take your restraining order for sure. Like, okay, it's a restraining order. We gotta do the what's in the best interest of safety. But restraining order, cool, filed, whatever. But see, right after that, when you got to go to court about it, if it's that way, they're gonna like, oh, okay, we see what you on, because it's a normal thing that's been done. DDG though, she gonna, as long as she got the baby, she gonna antagonize you, and you gonna have to be able to deal with it, because look like she wants her way, and one of the ways to get your way as a woman is, hey, keep poking at my baby daddy until he snap. And when he snapped, oh, he's a bad guy forever. And she's a victim and an angel forever. And that's how it works in the court. But in the public, it don't work that way. And I say that with Miss Bailey, like, hey, listen. If you're doing this stuff with honor, it'll work out in your favor. But if you're doing this like in a dishonorable way, you can still get what you want as a mother, but it's not going to end the way you think it's going to end. And if I was you, I would look at the countless stories of countless women who got their way in the beginning in the situation, and they keep doubling back and tripling back and quadrupling back to their old situation. Like, yo, I need help. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Well, just help me out this time. I need a favor. I know we're not on good terms. Because what happens is, if it's a good situation, let's just say if DDG is in the wrong and it was a good situation, he's got to work his way back to make it to get y'all square, and that's gonna take some time. And if it was a good situation and Miss Bailey made it wrong, it's gonna take some time and some actions for her to get it square. So this is not gonna be an overnight thing. Like at this particular point, I know that type of time. It's like we enemies for life, because now you put me out in the world as this. You get what I'm saying? And if DDG feels like he got lied on, oh yeah, I'm gonna always be streaming. I'm gonna always have the camera on, because if I don't, you gonna say something. I did something. So from now on, every time if he's around Miss Bailey to get his kid or at a drop, it's gonna be a camera rolling. Just know that. And just because you a celebrity, Miss Bailey, he like, nope, I'm doing it for my safety because the last time you set me up. And on the flip side, Miss Bailey, you could do like, man, I'm a celebrity, the camera rolling, yada yada yada. Because like I said, this is not the typical situation. You know, it's the typical tactics, but this is a abnormal situation. So this is going to be a tester for the world, to be perfectly honest. You know, so all the fathers could be team DDG, who, and all the mothers could be team, Miss Bailey, right? So I'm gonna should call her Mr. DDG and Miss Bailey because but I know DDG better than I know is it Halle or Holly's first name. I don't know the right terminology, but what I know for sure, is you both are going to be judged by the public about how you handle this situation, and it's going to be swift. This ain't going to be like overnight. This ain't going to be like, oh, you could say the right things and then say one wrong thing and people go, oh, it's you. You could, what I'm saying? That's how this going to go. So, and both of y'all gonna spaz out. If y'all keep going down this path, I expect both of y'all to spaz out in some way on social media. I really do, because y'all gonna get sick of your name being thrown in the mud. Y'all gonna get sick of people looking at you with the side eye. You're gonna get sick of one person looking like they're the good person and the other person like they're the bad person. Oh yeah, it could get ugly. It could get real ugly, but that can go both ways. Both of the families gonna get involved. So the grandparents, they gonna get involved because they team, they team DDG or team Miss Bailey. They gonna get involved. But I'm gonna tell you how this winds up ending. One of you as a parent is gonna be more right than the other. You're gonna be more right as a parent and as a person than the other person and parent. And in your family is either gonna have to enable, like the person who's in the wrong, your family is gonna have to enable the wrong behavior, or your family is gonna have to stop the wrong behavior. A lot of times they enable it, and that creates a bigger monster. So when you enable a situation, like if you enable it and go, well, it's wrong, but that's my baby. Okay, remember that. You better remember that, because time don't heal all wounds with stuff like this. Time doesn't heal all wounds with stuff like this. So, appreciate it. But what's going to wind up happening is, if you're on the other side with the grandparents will go, listen, I'm on my baby's side, but my baby wrong. So we're going to figure it out. Usually that can work out because now both sides can facilitate, what's going on, because you can live in reality. Now, what you're not going, but here's a problem when there's no trust. Now I can't open up to the other side. Hey, I feel you, OG. Once you open yourself up to a situation where I don't trust the other person, now I can't talk to you, because now I look at it like, oh, everything I say to you could be used to set me up. So now everybody's gonna be hush mouth. And here's where, and I'm gonna say this. This is where people with custody win and lose. So if you have custody, right, and you're trying to be controlling, you're trying to run a situation because you feel like you're the better parent, and because you spend more time with the kid, or the kid or the children. It's one of those situations. I know this kid better than you because I spend more time with them, right? So I know better. And what winds up happening is, the more time you spend, the more time you can make mistakes. So the issue becomes when you start messing up as a parent, you start hiding what you did wrong. But everything that's done in the dark comes to the light. So what happens is, a lot of times the people with custody who play these games, they wind up being a bad parent for an extended period of time, and they do a lot of covering up. But it get found out, like on the back end, and it's like, oh, okay, you really got an issue. And then on the flip side, if you don't have the kid a lot, if something happened, it's like, oh, if something bad happened, you don't want to say anything because it's like, I barely see this kid now, so it's gonna go from barely to never. You get what I'm saying? It's always like you on a short leash, which creates more drama. And sometimes, I hate to say this, sometimes you're on a short leash and you're doing better than the other parent, and that's a problem. Like sometimes you're the better parent with a shorter amount of time, and they yank the kid away from you because the kid does too good around you. It becomes a game like that, and whoever, let's just say, was a custodial parent, when they play that game, they ruin the kid. Just for the record, like if you play that game, understand you're gonna ruin the kid, because everything that's positive for that kid, you're gonna stop it because it's not you. And pride and ego gets in the way because you're not gonna do what the other parent does because y'all not the same, y'all are different people. So that's a whole nother thing. So now we gonna get into something else about this. For DDG and Miss Bailey, like, don't get influenced by social media, and I'm on social media talking about this. Don't get influenced, because basically you're gonna have a lot of bitter baby daddies and bitter baby mamas seeing themselves in your situation, and they're not really gonna give you the whole way real. They're just gonna, how can I say this? Use you as an avatar for their bad actions. So even if you wrong, like if you right, people gonna have your back. And if you wrong, there's an audience to have your back. But what normally happens in situations like this, the audience that has your back when you wrong, that should tell you who you are as a person. And it should tell you who you are as a parent. Like if an audience has your back, and they can still say, hey man, I got your back, but you out of pocket on that one. They actually mean well for you, your situation, your kid, and all that other stuff. But if you doing something out of pocket and people go, well, you know what? So, and they make up another reason. Well, maybe it's because of this, or maybe it's because of that. Right there, right then and there. If you keep listening to people like that, I promise you, your situation is going to get increasingly worse. Now, I'm going to say this for DDG. You probably doing this already. I hope you are, but if you're not, start taking your money and start living off of maybe half or 3/4 of what you live off of now. Start just get your kid an account and just throw a gang of money in there while you're making good money now. Just start throwing that money in there. Don't look at it. Hopefully you got a lot of stuff paid for, what you probably do. I know you probably got people you take care of, but if you want to take it out of your own pocket of what you do for yourself, take it out of your own pocket if you don't want to lessen the lifestyle of other people. But you're going to have to make some cuts and start putting a whole bunch of money aside, because if this goes bad, you're still going to be on the hook for money for a while, right? Ms. Bailey, you got to do the same thing, because if you if people actually say you're in the right about the way you're going about this, right? You're probably gonna get work. But if people think you're wrong, like I said before, you're probably not gonna get much work. It's gonna be a while. So then what's gonna wind up happening is you're gonna have to stack money to the side, because, in all honesty, um, you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. Let's just say it that way. You're gonna need it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. You right about that. Then we're gonna have to deal with a interesting part of this scenario. That's why I say this is a unique situation. You're in Hollywood, probably. You're in Hollywood, so I'm guessing both. Like I said, I believe both of y'all live in California. Ms. Bailey, you can't up and move now. This is not a situation where you go, I want so much control that, let's just say, I'm gonna move to, you know what, I don't want to be in Hollywood no more. I'm moving to Atlanta. I'm moving to Seattle. I'm moving to whatever. Understand, this man works from home, so he can move too. So let's just say, if you want to move, he can move too. And if you move somewhere, don't wind up in a situation. I'll say this. I like if DDG gets upset about the situation, he could wind up looking like Kanye West right now. Kanye West was always looked at as a good dad, but he's so erratic that it people can't fight for him. As far as, yeah, you've been known to be a great dad, but you just crazy. You do some wild stuff, so they're gonna use that against you. And on the other side, Miss Bailey, you could be what's that? Erica Mena, that's her name, the one that had the kids with Safari. You could turn into her, like, oh well, he moved. We got custody. We got a custody order. I don't like him being around his children, so I move. Then he moves to be close to the children, and you move back. And he moves back to be close to the children, and you still acting crazy. Oh, at that particular point, I guarantee you're gonna be doing reality TV. You can movies, no more. Maybe TV shows, probably not. You're gonna be on Real Housewives or something. And then it's gonna be like, what the did I get myself into? You get what I'm saying? And this is the other part. And this is on both sides. This is important. Both of y'all are young enough. Oh boy, I wish I didn't have. Y'all both young enough to make mistakes. But y'all also y'all so much of public figures. If you make the wrong mistake, that mistake gonna travel with you for probably over a decade. Just one good one, right? So on the flip side, and this is what I mean. Both of y'all could actually move on and talk to other people. That's literally what could happen. But if y'all the jealous type, it's gonna be public. So if DDG winds up like a year from now, 2 years from now, he starts dating again, hey, and now we back to baby mama, baby daddy drama. It's gonna be like, okay, you got an issue. If Miss Bailey starts dating and he starts wilding out, we're gonna have an issue, because this kid ain't gonna be. Well, this kid got like another 4 years to be in school. So right now, if y'all can't work together now, I can I can guarantee you, y'all, it's gonna be hell on both of y'all, because y'all gonna both wind up having, you know, to foot the bill for nonsense because it doesn't make sense. And y'all young enough to actually not mess up your future by being hard headed right now. I don't think this situation is going, like, right now it's not on the path to ending well. Right now, personally, like I said before, the easiest way is 50-50 custody. That's the easiest way. It'll be the easiest thing on both of y'all, business wise, parenting wise, financially, scheduling. It'll be the easiest thing for both of y'all careers, the easiest thing. But if y'all don't go down that route, y'all both going, it's going to be a problem. And both of y'all, and here's where it gets interesting. DDG is streaming all the time. If he got something he really want to say, he could just get online and say it. That's all he got to do. So understand, like, if he's being quiet, y'all probably going to court. But after the court stuff is over with, he gonna be streaming about that stuff. And if it goes back to court record that is true, if he can make Miss Bailey look horrible in social media on a regular basis. She has what do you call that? She has like the Hollywood media behind her. So of course they can make him look bad. He pop up on TMZ, yada yada yada, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But here's where it's getting interesting. There's been a shift at taking women's side because they said so. So what I mean is, at this particular moment, you got the Diddy Cassie thing, right? Now Cassie ain't looking like such a victim, right? Right now, because it's the timing of the situation that I'm getting at. Right now, you got, Diddy looks like a bad guy, but now Cassie looks like, an accomplice that got mad, less than a victim, right? Then you got the Tory Lanez just got stabbed in jail, and now the people who should have testified for him in court, now they want to talk, which is trifling in itself. But now people gonna look at Megan Thee Stallion with a side eye, which they've already looked at her with a side eye because they didn't fully trust her. This is going on at the same time. You get what I'm saying? It's a few other stories going on right now. You got the Shannon Sharp getting extorted thing, and now people looking at the Bill Belichick thing. You know what I mean? You got all of these relationship things on social media that don't come off well. That it's not like, oh, man bad, woman good situation. Like, the society has pretty much shifted that to, it's starting to look at people like not necessarily just down the middle, but now there's more questioning. So understand, like, this is kind of bad timing to come out with it. Like when I brought up the Keke Palmer situation, he brought up Shy Jackson. This is an issue. Is it Shy? Shy? I don't know how to say that either. But is it Sky? It's Sky. I think it's Sky Jackson, I think. So these situations keep happening over and over and over again, and they start out the same way. Let's believe the woman. Let's believe the woman. Let's believe the woman. Let's trash the guy. Let's trash the guy. Let's trash the guy. And then when it goes, yeah, we shouldn't have did what we did. Let's abandon the woman and let's act like we never trashed the guy. That's how that ends. So this is this is awkward time. This is an awkward, like, this is a news story, but it's an awkward time right now. So things got to get taken into consideration with this stuff. Now, here's where it's no nice way to say this. If I'm DDG, because if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's real or not. There was like his mother was like, "Yo, nah, we not like. I've been too quiet about the situation." So I'm gonna say this. A lot of times, if you're a father going through this baby mama drama situation, a lot of times the mothers, they don't catch on to the drama until it's too late. So, and what I mean is sometimes y'all try to mediate and facilitate what goes on, and basically you wind up being an informant and cannon fodder in the end when somebody's really on one. You get what I'm saying? So not a mama got an issue, because now she like, I've been doing my best to mediate this situation, and this is what you do to my baby. And if the mother feels like a nose is not true, oh, she gonna feel played, because it's like, oh, okay, you use me and to get to my son, and I was trying to help you. Okay, we got a problem. And that's on the other side of that equation. You know, if you miss Miss Bailey's parents, and she's like, just say she's telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth, right? So help you God. Her parents are gonna be like, listen, you doing this to my baby, and you act like like I don't care what you say or what you feel. You know, if he's spazzing out on a ring cam, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. It's a problem. You know. What up? So, but I will say this. I don't know if it's true or not, because I heard it. I heard somebody talking about it, and I was talking to my wife about this. And this is what I will tell Miss Bailey. I'm gonna tell you why people think you lying. I'm gonna tell you why. And this is like, and as a baby daddy who went through this type of stuff, it was something that was said about a story about him coming to pick up the kid, and y'all got into a fight in his car, basically, because you wouldn't get out of his car. And if I'm not mistaken, he had to drive with you in the car back to his house because you wouldn't get out the car. You got it. So when I heard that, like, if that's true, I was telling my wife, I said, listen, let's just reverse this. If a man was having an exchange with the mother of his child at his house, like she came to pick up the kid at his house, and they're really not, and they're not like cool, they're not getting along, and then he puts the baby in the car, she puts the baby in the car, and then he hops in the car, and she said, get out my car, and he don't get out the car, and it's so contentious that she got to drive all the way home with the baby and them in the car. They gonna say you out of your mind. No, you're antagonizing a person. You starting stuff with a person. In all honesty, if it's a female in a situation with a guy like that, she has all right to shoot him in the car. Dead serious. Because now, I'm in fear for quote unquote my life. So if that situation comes out to be confirmed, I'm gonna tell you, Miss Bailey, people gonna look at you sideways. They're gonna look at you like, oh, okay, you one of them. You one of them. You one of them, oh, come pick up the baby, and when they get to the house, oh, the baby can't come. You one of them. See, that's gonna be an issue. DDG, I'm gonna tell you what you since you got some bread on you, Playboy. I'm gonna be honest with you. You can't pick up your baby no more. If you have the means to do it, have somebody else pick up the kid. And what I mean is, you could drive to the house. You probably got an SUV, Sprinter van, whatever. Mutually, you can get out the car, pick up the baby, and put the baby in the car and drive off. But right. I heard about that, and that's why I'm saying that's a problem. That's a control issue, and to me, if that's true, I'm gonna get to it. Like, let me say this. He's not allowed to. So this is where it's going to be a problem, because truth be told, you're not supposed to take a child. What up, fam? You're not supposed to take a child outside of the country without the other parent's permission, even if you're married. And if y'all remember this, and I'm gonna go back to this comment for a second. This was going on a few years ago when some of the Olympians was in the Olympics and they wanted to take their kids to the Olympics with them. And they was having issues because some of the mothers was like, no, you can't take the baby. So some of these people's kids didn't go. So that's a normal thing. Now, with her, if that's true with her, I'm gonna say this: you can't be a movie star and pull this stunt. That's not good. That's not good for the set. That's not good for business. Because let's just say you go to another country and you took a not even an infant, but a child, a toddler, outside the country with you. And if something happened to that baby in Paris, France or Russia or whatever, you do realize, you're not just liable in court, but now that studio is liable because they allowed you to do that. You get what I'm saying? This is why I said that can hurt your career. Because they like, you get custody, you pull this stunt, and your kid, break a leg or break an ankle somewhere or get sick somewhere. Now, DDG sues Disney because this shouldn't have been allowed. You know what I'm saying? They sue Paramount or then your career finished. After that, they go like, nah, we done with you. So that's messed up. So that's an issue. That's definitely an issue. But so all I'm saying is, if it's true that DDG went off on a ring cam, he gonna look crazy. Definitely, you gonna look crazy. But if it's true that Miss Bailey got in the car and wouldn't let him go home with the kid when he came to pick him up, you gonna look crazy too. This is not gonna be a situation where one person crazy, one person not. But even with the travel part, it would actually, like I said before, help your career. If you gotta go 2 months overseas and do a movie, and this dude actually just streaming in the crib working from home, that takes a lot off of your plate. A lot. But if you want that much control, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. And if you're willing to do that, you on point. You on point. I mean, you better be on point, because you won't be able to afford to do that all the time, is what I'm trying to say. But here's where we have another issue. I'm sorry, I don't want to say what I'm about to say, but because this all can play out on social media, y'all could go places in public and people really have your back, right? But because this is going on in social media, you can go out in places in public and people look at you and and cuss you the out. You get what I'm saying? So 9 times out of 10, either on either person, you're gonna get more love than you do hate. But just like if people believe Miss Bailey, there's gonna be like a boycott of DDG's channel. But if people believe DDG, trust me, there's gonna be like a boycott on Miss Bailey's shows, movie shows. They're gonna have issues, you know. To I know that's what I was talking about earlier, Jerome. Like, it's these two are in a particular different situation because him being a YouTuber or a streamer basically means he works from home. That's a hard sell in court to go. You can't see your baby on a regular basis, even though you work from home, but I can see the baby on a regular basis, even though I'm going abroad and working. That's not gonna go well at all. So this idea of being abusive, it becomes an issue. Now, what we going now here's the other thing that people kind of this situation, because he's a streamer. Ooh, this is something, yeah. Right. But that, like I brought that up earlier, Breezy. It's a situation where the conversations now are documented. You know what I'm saying? If you send somebody a text message, and like I said, if he said, "Listen, you out of the country," I should be able to take him out of the country, and that's on a text message. And then a couple of days later or a week later, he got this restraining order. Oh, that's not gonna go well in court now. Right. That's a control issue, Naomi. That's a control issue. Well, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But what I was about to get at was this. Let me say this, and this is for really Miss Bailey. If you're in the right, it's not going to be a problem. But if you're in the wrong, not only are you going to pay for it in your career, your sister going to pay for it in her career. Just so you know. Like, if you're in the right, it's going to be cool. But if you're in the wrong, I promise you, not only will your career slow up, but then your sister career going to slow up. And y'all going to have issues. I hate to say that, but I'm trying to just say it on both sides. So yeah, if she can prove it, the kid ain't in danger, and that's a problem too. So now you got a lot going on. DDG, you could all you got to do, honestly, bro, and Miss Bailey, all y'all got to do is just work out that 1 week on, 1 week off, or 1 month on, 1 month off. That's all y'all got to do. That's literally all y'all got to do. Because y'all are not in a situation where somebody has to work. You're not working a 9 to 5. You're not working it. Yeah, it will be questioned. And then, and it's the same situation with DDG. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna come back to bite you in the butt. And this is messed up, but it's true. And I remember this. your little nephew, Woo Wop. I remember like you had Woo Wop he was doing some wild videos back in the day, you know, and y'all was doing videos, it was getting attention, and some of them he was wilding a little bit, and y'all was cool with that because y'all kept putting them videos out. They're gonna look at some of them Woo Wop videos, you know, when he was trying to be the little, I want to kill my mom, I want to kill my dad. That's gonna come back on you. They gonna use that against you and go, see, this the kind of parent he really gonna be when that kid hit a certain age. And it's like, oh my God, like this is what he'll do to get attention. So like that's gonna come back too, bro. It wasn't you didn't think about it as a big deal at the time. I know y'all slowed down the videos, but that's gonna come back to bite you. 100% gonna come back to bite you. So you got to prepare for that. It's sad, but it's true. Ultimately, like I said, you got 4 years. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. She gonna use it. But he gonna say that ain't my kid though. It's like, yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, bro. But here's where, they're gonna use you being a rapper against you. They're gonna use you being a streamer in some ways against you, right? The streaming, y'all kind of do PG kind of streaming anyway. So even trying to use that's gonna be flimsy, but they're gonna use it. But you gotta, and though it sounds weird, and I gotta say this to you, if I'm talking to DDG, you're gonna have to talk in your DDG social media voice from now on the phone when you deal with Miss Bailey. And the reason I said it is because your real voice is so raspy and hood. The minute you say something with aggression, oh my God, they gonna hold you up like you DMX, bro. The minute you had that little raspy voice, give me my baby. See, he's a killer. That's what they gonna do to you. So you're gonna have to be DDG voice the whole time from now on when you talking to her. Whole time. Every phone call, if you talk on the phone, you got like since you're on live all the time, all of your conversations probably gonna be recorded because you're gonna be on live, on streaming. Just know with her, she gonna be recording you too. So y'all at this particular point, y'all gonna be trying to get dirt on each other, but you can't. The restraining order doesn't really hold water. And I'm gonna tell you why I say the restraining order doesn't hold water. When she got the restraining order, y'all wasn't beefing. That even though they gonna grant a restraining order, but when it wasn't like something happened last night and she got, the way it comes off, it's not like something happened last night and she got a restraining order today. You get what I'm saying? Or something happened 2 days ago and she got a restraining order yesterday. It don't come off like that. It's like something happened 2 months ago and something happened 4 months ago and now I got a restraining order. That's not gonna hold weight. That's not gonna hold weight. Because now it's like, oh, you just popping up saying this stuff now. Because you can't be outside of the country, like I said, and then come back in the country and that's not a good look. It's not a good look. Yeah. They're what? You can't, even if you get a private eye, he can video the private eye. So now we got issues, fam. We got huge issues in this scenario. And I hate it, but there is not going to be a winner in this situation. That's why I keep saying y'all might as well just go split custody 50-50. Not we are, because parenting is already 50-50, but y'all got to split custody 50-50. Because if y'all don't, y'all both gonna have real bad issues. And this is hold up. I'm eating a snack. Hold on. Okay. Now I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done with it. If y'all can't work this out, and I hate to do this to you, but if y'all can't work this out, either one of y'all both gonna be broke in 5 years. Both of y'all. And I'm not, and I hate to do this, but I'm telling y'all, if y'all both don't work this out, one, like, what I mean is, if both of y'all fight for control, more control than the other person, I guarantee you, if DDG has full custody, right? If he could get full custody, your channel gonna go down to 2. I'm gonna tell you that your channel gonna go down to 2. Even though you be a good parent, your channel gonna go down to 2. Because you gonna get the, oh, how could you take a child from his mother type of situation. And then people just gonna be making up anything in hopes that anything goes on in the house that happens to the kid so they can throw you under the bus. And that's gonna be draining. I ain't even talking about the financial part, but that's it's not as, the financial part ain't as draining right now. But on the flip side, Miss Bailey, if you wanted full custody and I want to have the key everywhere, understand that means you want the key everywhere. So that means the next time you want to do a movie that take 2 months in another country, he gonna tell you no, and then you're gonna have to pay for a 24/7 babysitter the whole doggone time. And he ain't gonna give you no extra money because I didn't know how expensive this is. And people ain't gonna let you just fly back home to see the baby. No, they don't. They're gonna stop working with you. Period. That's how that's gonna go. And you won't be able to work on a regular basis again until that kid probably about 12, 13 years old. And by then, who knows? Like, what I'm saying is, right now, don't be, is it Tia or Tamara Mari? Don't be that. Because this is a situation where you can win custody and lose in the public opinion on either side. You can win custody and lose in public opinion. And public opinion is actually both of y'all's business. And public opinion is more fickle than the damn court. And public opinion puts money in your pocket. So it's messed up. Yeah. Me personally, I don't believe she got, like, because you get in a fight, you chip your tooth. I don't think she got punched in the face. Like, honestly, when you chip somebody's tooth, you got to hit him in the mouth. So you get the thing about that is, if she got hit in the mouth, how long ago was this? Because you ain't seen her lip busted, you ain't seen her bleeding nowhere, you ain't seen nothing. The same way she had, like, she showed a mark on her arm, she would have been able to show what happened to her face. Because if you get hit in the mouth, and I tell my wife, if a person punch you in the mouth and they chip your teeth, they also cut their hand. So people gonna look at DDG hands like, on, they're gonna go through these videos and see if DDG hands messed up. I know she said he hit her I guess the steering wheel or whatever, right? Let me explain something to you. You didn't just hit your teeth on the steering wheel, you had to hit your head on the steering wheel too. You get what I'm saying? That is some precise stuff to grab a person by the back of the head and push their teeth to the steering wheel. You'd have messed something up. Right. It will be busted. So people are not going to necessarily believe it. They're not gonna believe it all the way. And the believe all women stuff has stopped. The Me Too movement and all that how that worked in the end, it doesn't have the steam it used to. It just don't, because people look at it as an extortion racket now. She would have had some broken teeth if it was a wood grain wheel, and then, and I'm gonna say this, and this is messed up. If somebody, because I think she said it was in his car. If your head hit the steering wheel in his car, that would mean you was in the driver's seat. Because you can't hit the steering wheel like that from the passenger side. You get what I'm saying? You had to be in the driver's seat or the driver's side of the car. And everybody who got a car know this. Like, you ain't gonna hit your head from passenger side to steering wheel. That ain't how that happen. That's just not how that go. It's like regular common sense. That's just not how that go. Host. Exactly. The Cutlass, that's fucking hilarious. He said he should have known, but both of them should have known better. That's how I look at it. Wow. Oh, yeah, and it, exactly. So now it's like, that's why I said it's basically Keke Palmer all over again. It's basically Keke Palmer all over again. I got what you're saying, fam. So now it's like, what we gonna do? Personally, that, you know what? That's it. There we go. I'm glad you said that, because I was saying earlier that the other sister was supposed to be the bad girl. Right now, she in Ja Morant territory right now. She definitely in Ja Morant territory right now. And DDG in Ja Morant territory right now. Because, man, he, is you abusing women? It's like, all right. And, oh, shoot. This is what you know what? I got to say this. Shout out to Edward Anderson. I hate to do this, bro. Some of these light-skinned, exotic, non-black looking chicks, y'all give them a pass and they crazy as hell. And the innocence of the skin color and the soft look, people go, oh, she can't be that bad. And it's like, okay. And she got like, yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, the last few chicks he's been with look pretty similar. So he got a type. And I know a couple of them, like he said she hit him before. He said another chick hit him before. Maybe he don't realize he like his type is a crazy chick that look a certain way. He got to get he got to own up to that. Like, man, maybe I need to try a different type now. You know, and she gotta know like, hey, if I keep pushing the envelope, I'm gonna go from a media darling to what's a crazy chick that you know. And my wife said, she gonna go from Whitney Houston to Whitney Houston, which means everybody loved Whitney Houston at first, and then everybody found out Whitney Houston was crazy later. She gonna go from Whitney to Whitney, and it's gonna be like, mm, mm, we thought you was something else. It's crazy. Nah, you can't do that you can't do that when you're on social media, because like that, like social, like they're in a situation where social media gonna run this case. You know what I'm saying? So if they can't work this out with themselves or in the court system, this whole situation is gonna be on social media. Every year is gonna be something with them if they can't work this out every year. And the problem, what I'm saying, is being on social media is you got to understand something. And shit, I got to do it. Let's just say because DDG is more on social media than Miss Bailey. If he's right and he talks about it and everybody sees him right, don't be surprised if she tries to shut down his channel. You know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised if he's right. If he's right and go like, I'm the one getting done wrong, and people go, yeah, he the one getting done wrong, they're gonna try to shut down his channel. Defamation of character type of situation. They're gonna go from we take the video down to we gotta shut this channel down. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. So I'm gonna leave it at that, fam. I've been on here for like an hour and 15. Look, I hope the best for both of them. Look, I done been through that whole situation. All that unnecessary drama is, in all honesty, it's a waste of time. And at the end of the day, if you're a father going through it, by the time the child support and all that's over with and all the drama's over with, it's 18, 19 years wasted. For the mama, it's I got control, I'm running things, I'm collecting money. 18, 19 years wasted. And the reason I can say that is because as a parent who's going through it, my kid don't really rock with both of his parents now. He was in ways like pushed to, I was alienated for most of his life. And at the same time, the older he got, the more he didn't like his mama's ways. So now it's like he don't know me like that. He was told I was a certain way, and if I get on him about something, I could just run to mama. And now it's like I don't really run to mama because I don't like her, because I realize she ain't as a person as she claimed to be. So you're gonna lose either way. So you're gonna waste time, and it's gonna be a waste of time and money, and it's gonna be for nothing. It's gonna be for nothing. What you mean? What's going on with this BS? It's always Chicago over Detroit now. What up, though? No, I'm just speaking on it. And I heard DDG from Michigan, so I know you got to be Team DDG. You know what I'm saying? Team, I'm Team Halle. Look, I said it earlier, man. Y'all go, if y'all go pick a side, but in all honesty, this is all picking dysfunction. Some of y'all don't like DDG, some of y'all don't like Miss Bailey, and some of y'all, and they just the avatar for your baby mama, baby daddy. Look, I think honestly, I think DDG and Miss Bailey are good young people, young adults who got money and got influence, and if they don't, take a step back and do some mature stuff in the next few months, they're gonna ruin the situation that they created before they had a kid together. They're gonna ruin their success, and if they do that, because this is not a I hate to say it this way, this is not a one-party thing. This is not like DDG. If DDG was to ruin Miss Bailey, he would ruin himself. If Miss Bailey would ruin DDG, she would ruin herself. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all better, if y'all gotta take yourself out of the court and say, we gotta do this for the money, do that until y'all can until y'all be adults again. But I reiterated a few times, the best option you got is y'all share custody, 1 week on, 1 week off, because that kid is not in school. The kid don't have to be in daycare. The kid is not in school. And he should fight for that. And if she fights against that, it's gonna bite her in the ass. I hope so, Jerome. But they like the issue is they're both young, they're both well off, and they both don't have to listen to nobody per se. You get what I'm saying? So, because they're both the breadwinner in their own home. So they don't have to listen to people per se. But if they don't, like the person who listens to somebody who gives them solid advice, that's who's gonna look better in the public eye and even in the court. But you ain't gotta, if DDG, you ain't gotta get ran over, DDG. You don't have to get ran over. You don't have to be stoic and take all the shots. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is, this is what I want, and this is what I'm gonna fight for, and that's what it is. That's all you got to do. If I want to be with my baby on a regular basis, that's what I'm fighting for. That's what it is. That's all you got to say. That's all you got to do. You make her go, you got to make her go, if you want to see your baby on a regular basis and that's all you want and that's what it is, and I don't want you to see your baby on a regular basis and that's what I want and that's what it is. That's what you got to make her do. Because, if you say, I want my baby, I want him 1 week, you have him the next week, and she say, nope, I want him every week, I'm gonna tell you right now, people gonna go, nope, you a problem now. They're not gonna say, because people have seen him with his kid, and people have seen her with the kid. They don't look at either one of them as a bad person or a bad parent. So, and it's on video of both of them with the kid. So this is not gonna be this is not a class. It's a classic baby mama, baby daddy situation. But this is actually basically a social media one. So, if you get on the phone, you can go live. You can literally go live. I'm going live. I'm on the phone. You on speakerphone? I'm on the speakerphone trying to see the baby, and I'm on live just in case this go left. How about that? I just want you. So trust me, y'all do not want to have it go that bad, because people are just looking for the train wreck then. But I'm gonna get out of here, man. I hope y'all have a great day. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. Where's the outro? Peace.
It looks like a job for Superman.
Do this.
Spoken from the lips of the young or the old, fear of me.
Yeah, gotta put it all in.
And they are Superman.
All the way.
I guess I'm taking off the cape through the glasses in the trash. Being super is great, saving y'all is such a drag. Even if you don't like it, that's your ass, cause nobody saved me. Plus when I'm drunk, I'm just a peon. I could use somebody just like I'm the kings of neon. This world is cold as ice, mixed with salt, mixed with freon. They got me pissed off, but that's better than being peed on. For eons, human beings took kindness for weakness. When you constipated, you start to appreciate shit. Put before you life and death, and you just gotta choose. The kryptonite life means you should follow the rules. If your credit's messed up or your bills ain't paid, then it's getting disconnected. Can't nobody say the day. And I can fly, leave a building in a single bound, but I can't stand fair weather friends, and I just fly around. My super friends in Justice League, only folk I kick it with. Kill Lex Luthor, so what? We had to finish it. Kids play games and adults play for keeps. And me, I play to win, but I ain't playing in these streets. And life is not a joke, then again it ain't this serious. Superman can say the day, but God can say the Superman. Saga of the kryptonite, life just ended. You enjoy listening? Man, I finished it.
Lois, come holler at me. I got an ice couch. Thank you. Coming out. Listen. I knew you would like it because we made it. I'm so frigid and so fly.